Listen, as 3 years of Arsenal finishing second, I think this is my opinion, right? This is why I'm just not. I do believe one of Arsenal or Chelsea is gonna have a bad season. One of them is gonna have a bad season. I do think that it could be Arsenal as well. Like there's a possibility it could be Arsenal. If they sign Eze Jokeras, then maybe they don't have a bad season because it's a lot of change and positive change for Arsenal. So they could do it. But at the end of the day, Chelsea are in a very good position right now as well. So it's like this is what I believe currently. I think Liverpool and City are the A-star teams in the league. I think Arsenal and Chelsea are in the same tier. They're in the A tier. You know, they're like super, but they're not elite. You know, like so. That's how I separate it. Because with Chelsea, listen, winning the Conference League, respectfully, like no one gives a fuck. Let's be serious. Club World Cup, I get it's the first time and everyone's getting hyped up, but it's still just the Club World Cup. So that one is just a bit, whatever. I think,
bro, if Arsenal sign Eucharist and Eze, they're better than City.
No, I think
How?
City's better.
Arsenal had injuries last season. City had injuries. Arsenal finished ahead of City, and for the whole season they were ahead of them.
City had Rodri out the whole year.
And Arsenal signed the striker they want.
Okay,
and
do you
City
know
have gotten rid of Kevin De Bruyne.
You know that City won more games than
Hang
Arsenal.
on.
City won more games than Arsenal.
Hang on a minute though, right? So yes, they had Rodri out all year, but they dropped what 200, 300 million in the January and didn't catch them. Arsenal had Saka missed 4 months. Their striker out for 4 months. Their backup striker out for half the season. Odegaard missed 3 or 4 months. Like, to be honest with you, there isn't much difference between the two teams. There isn't much difference between the two teams.
I will accept that argument at least. I will accept that argument. That it's debatable. But my point is,
Odegaard missed only 8 Premier League games.
The defense of City is not comparable. Khalas, they get the facts, whatever.
Saka missed 13.
What do you mean? So hang on a minute. 8. So he missed. So Odegaard missed
8 Premier League games.
Okay, so he missed. Hang on. So he missed a quarter. Saka missed over a quarter. How many did Havertz miss?
Half a season, since January until the end of
the
season.
And then what was the overlap on that? And then
how many Premier League games Rodri played? 3.
Yeah, okay, but they went out in January and bought a brand. Again, I'm not blaming Arsenal's board should have gone out and bought people, but they didn't. You can't blame the squad for not getting new additions. They're not in charge of that. The idea, I don't think there's a great deal of difference between them. And it's
okay. Can I tell you the difference? Pep Guardiola.
Very simple. We know he's but he was there last year.
Just push it to the side.
No one is.
Pep Guardiola in his whole career has never went 2 years without a league title. That bald bastard is scary. And
Liverpool, since we started watching football, has never retained the Premier League.
True. Yeah, no problem.
So you're not favorites next season?
No, that's not the logic. I never said
the logic. It's the same logic.
I said City are above Arsenal. I'm not talking about us.
You literally just said that Pep Guardiola has never been 2 seasons without a league title. Liverpool have never retained the title. And Liverpool have not retained the title.
Liverpool. I do think
so. City ahead of it. Okay, based on your logic, so City ahead of Liverpool.
No, that's
okay. I'm using your logic, broski.
My logic is, I'm looking at City and Arsenal, and the reason why I put City above Arsenal, not above us, is because of Pep Guardiola. Do you understand now?
Because you said because Pep Guardiola has never won 2 years. Right. Okay, hold on. You said. I'm not saying that otherwise, by the way. Liverpool are favorites for me to win the league. Okay, you said because you said that Pep Guardiola has never done 2 seasons without winning a league title. Pair that with Liverpool never retained the title, like since 92. That means, let me. Why is he not letting me finish the fucking sentence, bro?
Because you're responding to something.
La ilaha illallah.
You included Liverpool in the conversation with no Liverpool.
Okay, based on your logic, if we pair both together, that means City are ahead of Liverpool.
Okay, no, because that's not my logic. Why? To Liverpool. I think Liverpool will break the duct of Pep not going 2 years without a league title that next season because we're gonna win it. Happy now? Now I'm comparing City to Arsenal. The reason why I have City above Arsenal is their manager, Pep Guardiola. That's it. So you add in the fact that they've got a Ballon d'Or player back. They've got Erling Haaland. Marmoush now has 6 months. By the way, all these players that they signed in January now 6 months in the league. They've adapted to the league. They've adapted to the manager. They know the style. They know the system. Ait Noor is already Premier League proven. Sherkin Reinders might take a bit of time, but I still think that that City will finish above Arsenal. If you tell me right now Liverpool are going to get 100 points next season and the team in second will get 98, I'll say it's City, not Arsenal.
Can I just challenge one thing? Look, there's a good chance that City finish above Arsenal. They're a brilliant squad and brilliant manager. But Arsenal finished ahead of them last year. And there was always this like, oh my God, we won one game in 13 and you only finished like however many points ahead of us. City were actually 5 points ahead of Arsenal before that bad run of games started. So that always gets left out of the equation. But we all sat here every week. And I think the one thing we're missing in this conversation, again, and this isn't, I'm not even making a point here per se, it's just a thought exercise more than anything. We all sat here and said how terrible of a decision it was from Arteta and Edu and Arsenal to not buy a striker. And then in January to not buy a striker. And they've drawn so many games because they didn't have a striker. They've added a striker. So doesn't that dictate that whatever they did last year, points-wise, wins-wise, saying they drew so many games because they didn't have a striker, doesn't that dictate that with a prolific striker, the prediction from us should be that they're much better than last year?
Okay. This is a new season with new factors, with new dynamics. When you look at Arsenal last season, you talk about their injuries. City's injuries were even worse. Because we're talking about Saka playing 28, 25 games in the Premier League. We're talking about Odegaard playing 30 games in the Premier League. Rodri played 3 games. So there's a difference objectively here. When someone misses 35 out of 38, it's a much bigger chunk of a Ballon d'Or level player. Erling Haaland will be back at his best. And on top of that, the X factor that I'm providing you is Pep Guardiola. So because he is the best manager in the world, and he has been the best manager in the world probably for the last 10, 15 years since he started managing at Barcelona, the truth of the matter is that X factor will take them over the line and will make them better than Arsenal. That's just my logic right now. I do believe Liverpool win the league, but I just think City are closer to us.
When you say finish ahead of Arsenal, what's the distance in your opinion?
I can't give like a points 100%, but I'm saying I gave you an example. I say let's say Liverpool win the league on 100 points, and you tell me right now the team in second is going to have 98 points. I'll say it's going to be City, not Arsenal. That's how I look at it. This makes me accept your view easier or worse. How many points behind? You just said that you think City will be 2 points behind Liverpool. How many points behind both of you will Arsenal be? I'm not saying they will be 2 points behind Liverpool. I'm saying if in a hypothetical world where Liverpool get 100 points, but the team in second got 98, I would more likely say it's City, not Arsenal.
Yes, but hypothetically, how many would Arsenal be on?
Rank the teams out of 100, Osam. Liverpool. Osam, rank the teams. Liverpool get. Sorry, Terry. Rank the teams. We know that City are not going to do business. They might sign a right back. We know that Arsenal are in for Eze and a winger and Eucharist. And Liverpool are going to get a striker. I want you to rank the teams from 100. I can rank them for you. Fine.
Yeah, you started, so we understand what you mean. Go on.
Okay. What I mean, if in my opinion, Liverpool are 9 out of 10, so 90. I'm going to give them rank like FIFA ranking. I would say Arsenal will be 85 and City probably will be 85. Around that, so both teams would be
okay. You think they're similar level?
Yes. I want you to rank them now.
My one would be what, like if we do sign the players that we're gonna get.
You're gonna sign a forward or something.
Hang on. The most sensible way to do it, because then it's all our own logic. Base it on what you think the club is going to do. That makes more sense than anything. Do you know what I mean? What you think they're going to do?
Okay,
yeah.
I think Liverpool are going to sign Ekitike and Arsenal are going to sign Eze and.
I think if we do sign a forward like that, and maybe let's say Rodrigo, I think we'd be at 95%, City 90%, and Arsenal 85%.
Okay. For me, I'm somewhere near a Mo's. I'm looking at Liverpool and I'm thinking 90, 91. I'm actually slightly higher on Arsenal and City, but still close. I'm going 97 each. Sorry, 87 each. I don't think they'll be as far behind Liverpool as you're saying. What I was more intrigued by is you actually think there's going to be a sort of 10 to 12 points difference between Arsenal and City and Liverpool next year. Now, for me, that's a considerable gap. I think if, for instance, Arsenal were 12 points at the top of the table and 10 points off second next season, I think that's a disastrous season for a side going to try and win a league title. That in my opinion. So,
100%.
and I'm not even challenging your opinion. I just wanted to get to a point where I understood.
Yeah, but we use the Arsenal injuries as an excuse. City had a shitload of injuries.
But I'm not using it as an excuse. They didn't finish too far ahead of City. But the idea of saying that City are going to get their players back and they'll be much better, you can use that same argument with Arsenal. They may not get as many injuries, and they're adding Zubamendi. They might be. I think they're going to add Eze. They're adding the goal scorer. Where again, this is the irony in people's analysis of Arsenal that I find just infuriating. Not because it's Arsenal, but because I feel like it's disingenuous. I'm seeing it in the chat. Yeah, but I think they'll be worse next year. But you said last year if they don't get a striker, they'll get. You said at the end of last season, if they don't buy a proper striker, they'll get worse. They bought the proper striker, but now they're going to get worse anyway. Fair enough. Your mind might have changed. I personally think it's the goalpost being moved than anything else. Those 14 draws they had last year, I think 10 of them came from winning positions. I think with players like Eze and Gyökeres in their team, I think 14 draws becomes 4 or 5 draws, and I think the majority of them turn into wins. So I think they close the gap, but I still don't make them favourites. That's
okay. City won one more game more than Arsenal. You said don't interrupt and then interrupt me. So City won one more game more than Arsenal. They had 6 less draws, but they have 5 more losses because Pep Guardiola goes for games. Pep Guardiola is not the type of manager like case in point. Pep is like his slot is like Pep, like he will try to attack in the end. The difference with Arteta is 1-1 at home to Brighton. Let's play for a draw. That's the difference type. That's the reason why Arsenal have gathered more points. City have more wins because they attempt to win more.
I hear that. I'm just going on people's. I did it match reactions at every single team's every game that every team played last year, and what I was consistently told, which I accepted, is if this Arsenal team had a proper striker, they'd be light years better. They're buying the most prolific available striker in the world. And suddenly, no one sees even marginal gains. I find it interesting. Someone here says, do you not think that the loss of Partey is not a factor? Not necessarily. The previous 2 seasons, we would all agree they were better, Arsenal, right? And in both those seasons, everyone was happy to see the back of Partey, who was injured, weren't playing, missed big games. I don't see them going massively backwards next year without him, with Zubamendi coming in, because the previous 2 years they were better, and he wasn't even seen as a key figure. Arsenal fans.
Can I give you a reasonable argument before you do just simple argument? Yeah. Sam is the one who actually pointed me to this. He said that Mo, don't always judge teams that keep their what is it called, the spine based on what just last season. Normally judge the team based on overall last 3 seasons. He mentioned that when Liverpool finished 5th, the season after, Liverpool went in and challenged for the title. So I am not going to judge Arsenal solely on last season. I'm going to judge Arsenal based on how they played over the last 3 seasons, especially because they kept the same Gabriel, Saliba, they improved the goalkeeper, they have Saka, they have Odegaard, they have Rice. So I have 0 league titles. Yeah, that's fine. Now you're moving into the banter because I'm actually speaking sense now.
I'm not bantering. I'm saying about winning.
But no one.
It's fine. Hang on. He didn't let me finish the point.
Yeah, I'm going to come back to you in a second.
He went to the banter because he knew what I'm talking about.
I'm going to come back to you in a minute. We're not debating who's winning the league. We're not debating who's winning the leagues. That's an irrelevant point. Back to you, Mo.
It's like, bro, simply Arsenal, most likely than not, because if luck goes their way and they don't have injuries, because now they added a striker and now they're going to add a left winger and they added a backup in the midfield as well, and Zubamendi and Norgard, most likely than not, Arsenal will go back to the football they played 2 seasons ago. Similar to the Liverpool team, that when they had the same spine and they didn't have injuries, and Van Dijk came back, they went on to get 90-plus points. And by the way, you also didn't win the title that time, but you played magnificent and great football at that time. And that is my point about don't judge Arsenal based on last season. Same for City, by the way. I'm not going to judge City based on last season only. But in the same time, I'm going to say something. City's spine a little bit have changed. And the reason I say that, the wingers have changed. And also, I believe, that is my personal belief, that Kevin De Bruyne is one of the biggest factors in making City win 4 peats and winning the treble. It's Rodri, yes, but Kevin De Bruyne is a massive factor.
We've got some super chats to do here. This here says, this is Mr. Tybox. Thank you so much for the massive donation. You're a legend. He says Liverpool won the league because City was crap and Arsenal had more injuries than anyone else in the league. Embarrassing. You only beat us by a small margin that you did, even though we had no striker and missed our best players for most of it. It's a big claim there. Listen, Mr. Tybox, I appreciate that super chat.
I'll tell you that we did not win the league because Arsenal
Sam need to
had
respond to this. This
Yeah, go
directed
on,
to you.
Sam. It is at you.
Arsenal had 0 injuries, 0 controversies versus Everton at home, versus Fulham away, versus Chelsea away. And there's a fourth team as well, I forgot. And still Arsenal didn't win. You had no injuries at home to Everton, you drew 0-0. You had no injuries or controversy away to Fulham, you drew 1-1. This is the stuff that we've seen Arsenal do before. Arsenal wouldn't have gotten over the line whether you had the injuries or not. We would have won the league anyway.
Sage, thank you so much, Ty. I'm going to do the other super chats. I'll put it back up in a moment, my friend. He says, how the fuck was City's injuries worse than Arsenal's? Good point.
Because Rodri only played 3 games.
What makes you think Pep is the same as before? Could he have
Pep
changed?
without being the same as before?
We have no evidence to suggest otherwise, people.
Yes.
We do have evidence. The year where City fell off as well in 2019, 2020, they came back and won 4.
So actually, the evidence is for him, not against him.
Yeah, exactly. There needs to be 2 years running where he's not as good for that question.